knock my block off?
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another SAC Reviews, and today we are looking at Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game, for the PC, PlayStation and Xbox. From the developers at Illfronic, Killer Klowns is an asymmetrical survival horror game based on the 1988 movie of the same name, and given Illfronic's previous experience in this genre being hit and miss with other games under their belt, like Friday the 13th and Predator Hunting Grounds, I'm happy to say that Killer Klowns is definitely one of the better games they've made in this genre. In Killer Klowns, teams are split into 3 and 7, making it straight away noticeably different from the usual 1v4 in this genre of game, with 3 clowns trying to capture or kill the other team before they can escape, and the 7 humans needing to escape the clowns through one of 4 exits on each map, with each one being able to facilitate at least 2 survivors escaping. It's the same premise as their other games, but I feel like they've really hit the nail on the head in terms of balance with this one. In Friday the 13th, Jason was just comedically OP, and while yes, that's par for the course with the character, even him on his own going up against a group of 7, you just stood no chance against him. You'd have an easy time dispatching all of them, whereas in Predator Hunting Grounds, the Predator was outright done dirty. It wasn't difficult to take him down even if it was only 1v1, and when there's 4 of you against him, almost every single match I played in that game ended with the Predator getting killed early. But in Killer Klowns, the formula works. Sure, if you're going 1v1 with a clown, it's more than likely going to end in the clown winning, but with any more than 2 humans, as long as you know what you're doing and both have weapons, you can take down the clown, giving you an extra minute knowing there's one less to worry about before they respawn. There's also these carnival-themed mini-games the survivors can play after they've either died or escaped to win items for the remaining survivors. It lets you keep engaged and involved in the game even after you've done your part or already died, and it can really help turn the tide in a game that's going south for those still surviving. I've played several games now where I was convinced it was over, as I just couldn't find the part I needed to escape, only to have it spawn in my hand through the rewards from this game another player was playing, or getting a shotgun put into my hand as I'm running away defenceless from a group of clowns. It's a really cool feature, but it would be nice if in a future update maybe, there was something the clowns could do, rather than just having to wait and watch the game for a minute. But all in all, matches genuinely seem well balanced, and almost every match I play is either a really tight victory or defeat for either side. Visually, Killer Klowns is exactly what it needs to be. It's not bad, it's not exactly pushing modern gaming hardware capabilities, but it looks good, and given that the movie that came out in 1988 looked like this, the clowns have never looked so good, with all of the classic janky looking kills from the film being recreated with real love and care in the various clownalities.
Yeah, they get together, they're really strong.
There's also a decent amount of customization for both the humans and the clowns. There's no full-on sliders or anything like that, and all customizable things are unlocked the more you play the game, but there's enough to keep it fresh and make yourself stand out and regularly go back to see what else you've unlocked. The soundtrack gives the game a lot of atmosphere, as well as having John Mazzari, the composer of the original film's soundtrack, return to score the music for the game. Giving it that same hard rock carnival of horror vibe that the cult classic just nailed. The sound design though, much like the visuals, it just does what it needs to. There's nothing special here but a modern recreation of the original film, but even down to the smaller things that actually end up affecting gameplay, like being able to hear the clown's feet squeak with every step. It really does give you a comedic sense of danger when you're trying to escape or sneak through some bushes and you just hear that squeaking getting closer and closer.
I can make a clown look the other way.
There's definitely some room for improvement though. While, yes, if you like the Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th style of gameplay, yeah, this is going to be a good time for you. But if you don't, then it does suffer from the "it's fun with friends" syndrome. Once in a while you'll get around with a really good team of randos, whether you're looking to play the game competitively or just roleplay, you'll eventually find a group of people looking to do the same, but more often than not, you'll just find yourself saying, "God, I wish Goose was here. Wow. This was so much more fun when I was playing with T-Money last night." With only 5 maps and rounds that on average last about 10 minutes, after you've played for about an hour, you've likely played a couple of rounds as both the clowns and humans and seen every single map the game has to offer. There's really not that much in terms of variety. While the clowns' progression is noticeable, the humans really not so much. Every time I unlocked a new clown or weapon, I could feel a noticeable difference in the way it played, and I was able to find a build that really worked for me. But with the humans, it feels more aesthetic than anything. Yes, it says this build has way less stamina and movement, but significantly more strength, but honestly, I really didn't notice any difference no matter what change up I made. Even after all of that though, I think Killer Klowns is a good time. This is a genre that normally doesn't work for me, but this time around I've actually had a fun time. I can't see myself playing it forever, but I can definitely see myself arranging a couple of game nights with the boys for this one, especially around Halloween. More than anything, it's got me thinking of the potential this genre can have with other IPs. Yes, horror icons work in Dead by Daylight. Yes, Friday the 13th was an obvious one for a solo spin-off of its own. But now Pandora's weird, zany box has been opened for the more comedic cult side of this genre. I can't help but imagine if Ilphronic were to take this formula and make a Gremlins game. Or hell, if we want to go wackier even, let's go all out and make an Attack of the Killer Tomatoes game. All in all, Killer Klowns from Outer Space the game is a fun time. It's not a great game, but it's not a bad game, and with friends, it can be a very good game. The gameplay is simple and repetitive, but it's engaging enough to be entertaining, and the love given to both the visual and sound design makes it an absolute treat for fans of the cult classic film. I'm giving Killer Klowns from Outer Space the game a 3 out of 5. But if you're playing with a group of friends and having a few beers, you can probably bump that up to a 4 out of 5. Have you played Killer Klowns from Outer Space the game yet? If so, what do you think of it? And what other IPs would you like to see get the asymmetrical game treatment? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.